What up, dorks? It's Monday. Today's video comes to you in two parts. Part one is I'm going to talk about my school's musical and the cast list for that was posted today. Very excited about it, so I'll get to that part. I'll talk about that, and then this book. So if you haven't read it yet, or you are still reading it and you don't want me to spoil anything for you, do not watch this part of the video. But don't worry, when we get to this part of the video, I will wave my hands ecstatically. I will tell you to stop, do not watch anymore unless you've read this book. We're going to start with the musical. As I told you in a few videos back, the musical that we're doing for my spring show is Legally Blonde. I auditioned for the role of Professor Callahan, and that's what I got. So yay, I'm excited. Callahan's kind of a dick, but it's cool. I'm happy about it. I'm excited. Gabby, you're right. We don't have any themes, and that bothers me. Gabby, I know you're busy like 24/7, but if you're ever like free, could you like hit me and Becca up like via text or something, and we can like Skype about maybe themes or something, because I want themes back. I don't know. It kind of seemed like after your themes were done, I felt like kind of like I had to come up with something because on Monday. Let's figure something out together. We can get back on track with the whole thing. Part two, The Fault in Our Stars. I just want to talk about it. This is the part where if you don't want to know anything about The Fault in Our Stars yet, please do not watch this part. So click away now. Go do something else. I'm going to talk about this book and my thoughts about it. I read this the day it came out, and I've been waiting for a good time to talk about it, and I think now is a good time to talk about it. It's been a few weeks. Most people should have finished it, if not, they're getting to it. I love John Green. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there are things that I absolutely adore about him and about this book, but there are also things about this book that I don't necessarily love. Number one is the whole Augustus thing. Not that I think he's a bad character, because of course he's like, one of the main characters, and he's not a bad guy. The only problem I had was you meet him so early in the book. It felt too good to be true. Like, it felt like he's kind of fake. I didn't really like it at first till the love story actually progressed and like turned into something. If it was me, if I were Hazel and this guy came up to me and was like, "Oh, you're so pretty, I love you," like, how would you react? Like, I would kind of be like, cool, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go to your house and watch V for Vendetta in the first 5 seconds of knowing you. Does that make sense? He just seemed too fairy tale-esque to me, and it was just, I don't know. I mean, I love Augustus, I love the character, and I love his story, but that part just I didn't really get it. Another part about the book that I didn't really understand or was hoping for was at the very beginning they talk about elevators. Hazel talks about how the people who go up the elevator to the literal heart of Jesus are going to die, and it's bad to go into elevators. And being a person who analyzes literature like myself, I was like, oh, this is like total symbolism. The elevator is going to be something pivotal in the storyline. Problem was, the elevator references didn't connect the way I thought they were. This isn't a critique on John's writing, it's more of like just me thinking something was going to happen but then it not happening when I felt like there should have been something there. Another complaint I had was, you find this in young adult novels all the time. At the very end of the book, Hazel is told about this letter that Augustus wrote. She's searching for it, and she can't find it anywhere. And then out of nowhere, Caitlin calls her and is like, "Oh lol, maybe he sent it to somebody else to send to you." It was like rushing to the end. Like, they had to finish it and they didn't really have a good connection as to how she got the letter. So they just threw in Caitlin and made her say something about that. It's so typical of young adult writers that it's just cheesy. I dealt with it because it was, it is a young adult book. Just so you know, these complaints that I have are totally outweighed by how much I loved this book. I loved Hazel. I have a friend who is a cancer survivor, so I was reading this book and I was just thinking about her the whole time. It was just, there are so many great aspects about this book that I can't even get into just because they're so beautiful, and he's such a beautiful writer, and it's just, I love it. One thing that I did like was that if you read John Green books, you will notice that a lot of the characters are very similar. You have the awkward teenage boy who falls in love with this like pretty different girl who's not really his type, but ends up falling in love with her. You don't really have that in this book, which I think is good. because it's like kind of a step for him in a different direction. You have, of course, it's a female-centered character. She's very cynical-ish. She's very independent. It's just a different pairing. You know, he's this guy and he's like too good to be true and he's attractive and everything. He's got one leg and whatever. And she's, you know, kind of helpless, but she pretends not to be. Oh, and never meet your heroes. That's a thing, because Van Houten was a jerk. You're waiting for them to meet him and you're just like, oh, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna tell him the story? And then it was just like, nah, he's just gonna be a dick. I thought that was hilarious. I loved that part. And then they had the awkward sex scene, which of course was awkward. The book didn't make me cry as much as I thought it was going to. Thought it was literally gonna be like sobbing on the floor. But I wasn't, which was good in my opinion. I mean, I still shed a tear. Like I said before, I can't even begin to explain to you how much I like this book. All in all, I loved it. I'm gonna give this book probably 8 out of 10. It was very good. I very much enjoyed it. My favorite John Green book is Catherine's, and this and Alaska are tied for a close second. And then Paper Towns, and I don't count Will Grayson as a total John Green book, because David Levithan wrote half of it. If you haven't read any other David Levithan, read him. He is a great writer, so do that. And Gabby, I will see you on Wednesday. Hope you guys have a good life. Catch you later.